Welcome to Projection Reflection. I'm your host, Coordinato, and today's review is Fanboys. This film was directed by Kyle Newman, written by Ernest Cline and Adam F. Goldberg. The cool thing about Ernest Cline, if you don't know, he is the writer of Ready Player One of my favorite books. And the film for Ready Player One just came out earlier this year, and it was pretty good. And Adam F. Goldberg is the creator of the TV show The Goldbergs, which is pretty popular, and it's on my list of favorite comedy shows. This film stars Sam Huntington, Jay Barthel, Dan Fogler, Chris Marquette, and Kristen Bell. The cool thing about this movie is that it has a lot of nerd icons, like a whole bunch of cameos in this film, especially by some Star Wars actors. We have Billy D. Williams, of course, who played Lando Calrissian in the original Star Wars trilogy. You have Carrie Fisher, who played Princess Leia in the original Star Wars trilogy. Seth Rogen actually was in it, and he plays, I believe, 2 characters in the film. William Shatner was in it. If you don't know who William Shatner is, he's Captain Kirk. So if you don't know that, then I don't know what to tell you. Craig Robinson was also in this film. Joe Lo Truglio, who was also in this film, and he is known for being in the TV show Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and he's also in the comedy series and film Wet Hot American Summer. And Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes also made an appearance in this film. So there's so many cameos put into this film, and I absolutely loved it. So just imagine, just gonna get into it here. Just imagine a time when there wasn't toxic fandom. Because it seems like with fanboys today can be real assholes to other people. And I know that personally. Just the whole thing going on with Star Wars, especially with The Last Jedi that recently came out, there's so many people just shitting on, the actress that played Rose, and it's not right. It's not right to do. But let's get back to what I was saying. Just imagine a time before toxic fandom. So, this film, it takes place in 1998. Of course, way before, we had asshole fandoms. At least I like to think so. The movie takes place in 1998, and it's about 4 friends who concoct a plan to break into George Lucas's Skywalker Ranch and steal a rough cut print of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And the cool thing is, the movie, it's about trying to get this film, but what it really is about, it's about these group of friends finding true friendship. Because in the movie, there's gonna be spoilers in this review. In this movie, Sam Huntington's character, Eric Butler, he has not been hanging out with his friends for years, many years, and he's finally trying to reconnect with them because he finds out that his best friend Linus, played by Chris Marquette, has cancer, and that's one of the main reasons they really want to get this film, is because they want Linus to see the film before he dies. Because I think they said that he only had 6 months to live, and the movie comes out around that time, after that time, so he wouldn't be able to see it. So they really want to get this film just so their friend can see it. And this film has so many references. So many references to like other films. Like these characters reminded me of me and my friends so much because we constantly, like me and my friends, we constantly make references to movies, and we talk about movies. We talk about comic books. Like these guys are us in an entirety. Like they are us, and it's any nerd could relate to these characters because you can tell that they have a very strong love for Star Wars, and they have a very strong hate for Star Trek fans. And Seth Rogen plays like a really funny Star Trek fan that they interact with. One of the favorite things is where Seth Rogen. Well, one of my favorite things is when Seth Rogen he calls Han Solo a bitch, and the character Hutch, played by Dan Fogler, just goes ham on this guy for calling Han Solo a bitch. This film just has it's so funny, has so many laughs. You can definitely tell this film was written by two nerds because Ernest Cline and Adam F. Goldberg are huge nerds, and you can definitely tell they had a huge love for Star Wars. Like there's so many Star Wars references, of course, in this movie. And like I said, there's other references to other movies, other comic books. Like there's a part where Hutch is getting in a fight, and he gets out his fist. He's like, snicked, and that's like a Wolverine reference. So that's pretty cool. But the comedy in this film is spot on. I love the actors in this film. Just give great performances, and it's when you're watching it, it's like you could see that you could almost see that they were real friends. Like it seemed like all of them were all really close, and that's how good of a performance they gave. I really liked the Eric Bottler character. I liked that because he works at this car dealership, and his dad wants to give him the company, but his real wish is that his real dream is that he wants to be a comic book writer. And like every person, like they get stuck in this. Every person in real life gets stuck in a job they don't like doing. And they want to do something else. And what he wants to do with his life is become a comic book creator. Like that's kind of like me. I want to own a comic book shop at some point in my life. Like I would love to own a comic shop, or I would love to run a movie theater. Those are two big things I would love to do. And maybe one day it will happen. But I loved his character in this movie because he was a very relatable character, and the friendship between him and Linus, of course, is strained. But I love how they kind of reconnect as the movie goes on. Dan Fogler as Hutch, and then of course if I'm not butchering his name, Jay Baruchel as Windows. They are both very funny characters. Hutch is probably one of my favorite characters. Dan Fogler just gives a great performance as this just really funny, like obnoxious character. He's very loud, very, very comedic. Kind of the way he plays all of his characters, but I think like this in this film, it's at his best. I mean, if you see him right here, he's this character right here, and he's just like a really big Rush fan, and that's another thing. Like, there's so much nerd stuff in this film, and Rush is one of those things. Like, Rush is known as a nerd band, and I love that they just put so much nerdy stuff in this film. So it's just so much of us nerds can relate to this movie. I loved what was the reference to THX 1138 in this film, because at the Skywalker Ranch, when they break in, the guards at the Skywalker Ranch are dressed in the THX 1138 like costumes, and Ray Park like is one of the guards, and he's like, when he's attacking the guys, he's like, "You're about to get mauled," and he gets out like these sticks. There's like nightsticks, and the cool thing about him saying mauled is because he played Darth Maul in the in Episode 1. This whole movie was just so great. It's so underrated for the big part. It's very underrated. Like, I don't think a lot of people know about this film. I mean, it's almost 10 years old, and the film, like, only a few of my friends know about the movie Fanboys. This it's just a fun movie. Like, I love that it's about a group of friends trying to get one friend before he dies to see this movie. And man, I gotta think about other parts. Of course, I loved all the cameos in this movie. Like, every single cameo I loved. I loved, of course, the Kevin Smith and Jay Mewes cameo. I think I liked that one the most. And Carrie Fisher as the doctor. Like, it even has this part where Linus, of course, he gets sick at some point in the movie. He has to go to the hospital. Carrie Fisher is one of the doctors there, and before he leaves, he just like straight up kisses her on the face, and he's like, "I love you," and she's like, "I know." And of course, that's straight out of the movie Empire Strikes Back. This movie is just great. Like, I just got finished, of course, watching it today, and it still holds up. Like, it's a great film about just a whole bunch of friends going on an adventure. Like, and even in the film they mention you gotta, like, in a way to like move on with life, you always gotta do that one badass thing, and that'll set you on your course. Like, and that's what it did for these characters. It set them on their course towards life, and kind of, like, I even said the same, one of the things with, like, in my last review about Shaun of the Dead, I was saying how the zombie apocalypse was his outlet to grow up. It was the same thing with Fanboys. Like, this adventure that they went on was the outlet for them to connect stronger with each other, and also, like, move up in life, and able to grow up a little. And I just love that, I love that about these characters. Is that these characters in this film are just so relatable when it comes to nerds. When it comes to nerds like us. Man, what else can I say? This movie is it's full of laughs, full of great characters. That is literally the epitome of friendship in this film. They are solid friends. Just a really good movie. I gotta give it. I don't know how people are gonna feel about this, but I gotta give this movie 5 out of 5. Like, it's one of my favorites, guys. It's just one of my favorite movies. Just the whole adventure of trying to get the rough cut of episode 1, and of course, one of the best lines spoken in the movie is when they're sitting at the movie theater. They're finally going to see episode 1. And then Eric says, "Guys, what if the movie sucks?" And, of course, episode 1 definitely gets a lot of hate, but I personally do like it, but that was a really funny line in the movie. Fanboys, 5 out of 5. If you have not seen this movie, I am telling you, go see it. You will not, I repeat, you will not regret watching this movie. Any Star Wars fan should have this in their collection. So, check it out. See you later.